Okay, good morning. Let's go ahead and get started on this wonderful program. People, I'm sure, will wander in a little late. It was one of those mornings when I think we all could have slept in a little bit. Welcome to the Adult Forum at St. Andrews. Today we are going to hear wonderful, inspiring, and somewhat sad sometimes stories about what Health and Wholeness and the quilting group, the Dorcas Circle, and the women and men who work on our care kits do. Linda, I think you are up first. Linda Willenberg, come on up.
On the screen here is a map that shows where in the world the kids and quilts went last year, but there's also great big posters in the back on the tables for you to look at. So if you can see that, most of them are going to Eastern Europe, Southern Asia, Africa, and South America, which has been traditional. Sometimes people ask, does Lutheran World Relief support and help in the United States, or is it just around the world? Lutheran World Relief is focused around the world, but there is the Lutheran domestic response, which does respond to problems in the US. And for some of the things in years past, like the Oklahoma City bombing, they stayed there for years, helping the city recover. The same with the huge hurricanes that have hit, like in New Orleans area, in Florida sometimes. And then there's Lutheran disaster relief that responds to disasters around the world in the US too. So those are separate from Lutheran Relief, but all part of Lutheran World Relief. The quilting group here at St. Andrews was founded right after the Sunday school was founded in 1956, when the church was founded, and still meeting down at Eastgate above a tavern. That was the beginning of this church and the beginning of our Dorcas Circle. So we have been making quilts since that time, and we welcome anyone who wants to join us or to help us at home by cutting fabrics, by donating shipping boxes, the embroidery crochet thread we tie them with, or fabric, or time with us anytime. But we want to show some videos, so Susan, you want to go ahead and show the first one?
Stunting is a condition caused by chronic malnutrition in early years of child's development, and it's quite actually prevalent in Tanzania. Stunted children are most likely to get sick. They take longer to recover because they have compromised immune system. They have developmental delays, and they have difficulty learning.
When I hear that such a big number of children are stunted, understanding the effects of the long-term effects of stunting, it's really painful because it is also related to inability of children to develop to their potential mentally. One
important study was done by Ifakara Health Institute in 2020, and they looked into drivers of stunting in Jombe region beyond nutritional intake. Jombe is one of the coldest areas in Tanzania. It's mountainous region, and during the home visits they observed that children often sit on a cold floor and with very little or no clothes on, and concluded that children, instead of using the food intake energy to grow, they're using that energy to keep their body warm. So that was contributing to stunting. When we heard about the study, we immediately thought about Lutheran World Relief's quilt program. And we thought how this would help us keep those kids warm in Jombe.
The quilts came to the very appropriate time because it's a cold condition. They have really touched the life at in the very appropriate time.
We were able to mobilize support and bring quilts to Tanzania, and we're expecting one more shipment, and we hope to reach close to 9,000 children with this assistance.
Thanks so much for whoever thought of these children and send a gift.
Thank you to Quilts on the other side of the globe for all the great work and dedication, and for bringing words of their hearts to children of Tanzania. It's very important. Thank you so much. Asante sana.
Soap, towels, toothbrushes. They may seem like simple gifts, but they can make a huge difference. High up in the Peruvian Andes, Lutheran World Relief has been working to help dairy farmers improve their standard of living. While the region of Cajamarca is renowned for its artisanal cheeses, poor hygiene practices in rustic facilities affected the quality of the cheese and made it difficult for peasant farmers to compete on the open market. A project known as ReadyPack worked to bring cheese manufacturing to world-class standards and worked with dairy farmers to improve their hygiene practices. Personal care kits helped to cement lessons on the importance of proper hygiene when milking cows.
Tradicionalmente, las mujeres ordeñaban con las manos sucias, recibían la leche en baldes sucios, no limpiaban las ubres de las vacas, transportaban la leche en condiciones inadecuadas. Nosotros hemos promovido a través del proyecto las buenas prácticas de higiene en el ordeño. Si es que también se hace esta promoción en los niños en la escuela, constituye un complemento muy importante. El hecho de que los niños estén recibiendo buenas prácticas de higiene en la escuela constituye un soporte también para promover los cambios en estas buenas prácticas en el ordeño.
Sanitary practices have helped LWR dairy farmers double milk production, improve the quality of their milk, and improve the quality of their cheese that they now sell on the regional and national market. Your simple gift of a personal care kit is part of such successes.
We've been doing these kids for about, I'd say 15 years maybe longer. And they contain things that you can find in any store practically. But there are certain specifications that come down from Lutheran World Relief that we have to follow. One of them is that combs, sturdy combs, no pick combs. So a comb like this is great. Nail clippers. You can either do the large ones or the small ones. Adult-sized toothbrushes only. And soap. We put in 2 bars of soap. And then the towels are they're bath towels, and they have to be dark colored, and the thinner and cheaper the better. We've found really good ones at Walmart. They have the best ones, and I think Target has some too.
What about Goodwill?
Well, they have to be new.
Oh, they have to be.
They have to be new, yeah. They have to be new bath towels. And so, this year we're going to do it on October the 30th. We put them together. The committee gets together and they put them together. And everybody's welcome to come and help out, because the more the merrier, and then we get it done faster. And when they're all done, they get wrapped in a bundle like this. We pack them up, put them in boxes, and send them all. So anybody's welcome to come and help us on the 30th, and we hope you can join us.
Would you tell us when the day is for packing next time in October?
October 30th, It's a Monday? Monday, 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Okay. I just wanted to mention a couple things, and the reason that we're going to be packing, and we will be blessing the quilts the day before on the 29th of October at the church service, and then all the kits and quilts are going to get packed that week, because that following weekend is what they call an in-gathering. And all around the country, there's what they call in-gatherings twice a year, once in the spring and once in the fall. And in the Pacific Northwest, there are 3 places One is Seattle at Our Redeemer's Lutheran Church, one is in Spokane, and one is in Portland, where all of the churches in the area bring their kits and quilts, and then they're shipped either by truck or by truck to a train and go to train. All of ours go to the Lutheran warehouse in Maryland. They also have a warehouse in the Minneapolis area, but all of ours go all the way to Maryland. But with only the 3 areas in the Pacific Northwest, churches, not only from the greater Seattle area, but people come down from Canada, from our peninsula, people over in Wenatchee, even Tri-Cities, all the way down to Chehalis. They decide, gosh, I have to drive a long ways today. Do I want to drive to Spokane, Seattle, or Portland, right? They do it on Friday and Saturday, so a lot of people come to spend the weekend. So Our Redeemer's Lutheran Church over in Ballard is our place, and normally they're quilting ladies, and now the pandemic's back over, been very generous to have cookies and coffee for us when we deliver. And it's really fun too. My husband and I have been making the deliveries now for 20 years. To visit with the people from all these different churches that bring their things in. Over on the table there are a couple things that have some photos of the in-gathering in 2022 over in Seattle, loading up the truck. There's also one feature article about Audrey Fisher, who's Stella's sister, who chairs the quilting group up at First Lutheran in Bothell, which they do an enormous amount of quilts and kits up there. So, okay, let's see another video.
Some people say that because I'm a teenager I can't do so much, but I'd like to say in the wise words of Dr. Seuss, a person is a person no matter how small. Well, a contribution is a contribution no matter how small. I believe that these kits do have impact. For one, I don't like having dirty hands, and 2, I don't like getting sick. And I cannot imagine living in close quarters with so many people that don't have access to something as simple as soap. The reason why you want to do this is because if you ever got in a situation like this, you hope that someone, even if it's someone you don't know, would come down and just help you for the sake of helping them.
You know, the children who are standing here at Mulali Rehabilitation Center in Dodoma, Tanzania, can take this opportunity just to express to you and to all the donors our sincere gratitude for the donations that you are making regularly to our center. We get a lot of these warm bed covers, and they are really useful for these children, as this place is actually quite cold, this place, especially in May, June and July. The place is very cold. So we are really grateful for the materials that we are getting. They are not as warm and as good as these bed covers. Also the toothpaste that we get from you, the towels, the toothbrush and the nail gun. So we are really happy that you have come at this to this place, because every time they were asking, where did this material come from? And then I said they come from people who love you. So we are grateful and we ask you to continue supporting our center. Thank you very much.
I also wanted to just tell you, when you see all these things being distributed, that Lutheran World Relief partners with a lot of other international aid organizations, Mercy Corps, Catholic Services, but a lot of others. Some are religious, some are nonprofits like Mercy Corps. And there's several reasons for that. One, they can have really large warehouses, and maybe Lutheran World Relief is providing the personal care kits and quilts, but maybe other organizations might be providing a lot of water and other kinds of supplies. And so they can save money and have big distribution centers. But also there are many countries that will not allow religious organizations to come into their country to distribute. So with working with places like Mercy Corps, we can have the big warehouses and then give them to Mercy Corps, who can then cross the lines into the countries and distribute them. Also, we need to be really careful that all of the things we send never have any religious markings on them, or no flags, or say the USA or any other country. So any fabrics or whatever that are donated can't have that kind of a thing on it. So, okay. Yes?
So can we mention that reason we don't put toothpaste in is they buy it locally because they have their favorite, they like different kinds of toothpaste in different countries, as a lot of you know. And so we also contribute some money for the kids for the mailing. Was it $5 a kit or something?
It's by the pound, so it's hard to, it's by the pound.
Okay, well, we contribute some money, and that goes for shipping and also for our toothpaste, which they buy locally. And also that our youth group was great a few months ago when they helped put the kits together, and they had a really good time doing it. So it's a good project.
The other thing with toothpaste, we used to do toothpaste, but particularly when like small tubes were donated, sometimes people, they dried out. It's being stored for sometimes for very long amounts of time, and so it was better to purchase them locally and they're fresh as opposed to having them maybe travel a long distance. And sometimes people donated ones that weren't brand new that they may have gotten from their dentist 2 years ago, and so they dried out along the way. So, okay, let's go on with the video then.
Since 1945, LWR has been sending handmade quilts and kits to more than 100 countries around the world. From your hands to their hearts, acts of loving kindness have touched the lives of millions, one person at a time.
I hope that quilters and kit makers understand that they are part of bringing God's kingdom into the world with every kit they assemble and every quilt they tie, no matter how significant or insignificant they may feel it is, that they would know that they're part of something so much bigger, and that what they are doing brings value and dignity and life and hope to people all over the world.
Cambridge Lutheran Church in Cambridge, Minnesota is one such place making a difference. From baby diapers to hygiene kits, from quilts to school supplies, volunteering for Lutheran World Relief has become an expression of their Christian faith, a call to serve humanity.
Because people don't want a faith that's passive, people want a faith that's active, and sometimes it's hard to find a way. People want to make a difference, people want to find opportunities to serve, and Lutheran World Relief makes it easy.
Volunteers at Cambridge know no age limit. Each volunteer brings their own gifts and their own stories for why they give.
My name's Abby Beckendorf. I'm 11, almost 12 years old. I've helped make diapers, pack school kits, tie quilts, and many other things. I like volunteering because it always makes you feel good, and you always get to feel good about what you're doing for kids across the world and around your home. Kids can have lots of impact, from sewing diapers to just packing a kit. And what I can do, I feel, can make a really big impact for millions of people.
We pray for the ministry of Youth World Relief and our partnership together to be your hands and feet in a hurting world.
Bless our labor, that our hearts can be joyful.
Agenda for tonight is we're going to package as many of these hygiene kits as we have materials for. I believe that these kits do have impact. For one, I don't like having dirty hands, and two, I don't like getting sick. And I cannot imagine living in close quarters with so many people that don't have access to something as simple as soap. If I can change it, I will try.
I have been volunteering since the mid-60s, 1960s. And then as the projects have been introduced, that's just added to the excitement. I really do enjoy sewing the baby jackets and reviewing the sleepers and onesies and more usable items. I spend a lot of time praying for the mothers, the babies, wherever they're going, that they will be blessed. A blessing to them. because it's a blessing to us to be able to share.
Heading quilt squares, shopping for school supplies, or scouring flea markets and second-hand shops for used items are just some of the ways that people contribute to the LWR Quilts and Kits project. For Judy Stack, preparing quilts by washing and ironing, donated sheets and matching tops to bottoms has taken up half her family's duplex. With her great-granddaughter Addison providing the entertainment, Judy and her friend Maureen work at finding the right color combination for new quilts.
We get decent sheets, which we pray for, that will make a back.
Yeah, that's not quite the right color.
But otherwise, if we get a lot of one color, I can make a back. But it takes quite a bit to make a back. So sometimes you have to two-tone. Want it to be a mix.
Can you look at this?
Well, her and I talked about when we're putting it together that this should be warm. Well, she thinks that it's good that we're making clothes for people that need them. It's amazing how my little 4-year-old, she knows a lot about that. She knows where the kids don't have a lot of stuff. So I'm glad they know that.
For some, helping to prepare quilts and kits hits close to home. Elsie Stomberg was just a child when she found herself in a refugee camp in the throes of World War II. It was there that she received a school bag and was finally able to go to school.
What it means to you to go to school for the first time, it opens up a whole new world for you. When the 1st of August rolls around here in church, we put these cupboard boxes that we have, and we put a sign on it, backpacks for Lutheran Relief, and each bag has a slip stapled to it that gives you what goes in each bag. At the end of August, you have 500 bags that are filled. It's just like magic.
And to me, education is the #1 priority. I think if you educate people, you hopefully decrease the violence in this world. It's hard for me to talk about it. I get really emotional.
So after quilters and painters finish their quilts, and they either drop them off or mail them to the warehouse or bring them to the gathering that brings them to the warehouse, those items need to be processed by our staff or volunteers. And so in the fall, we're getting 50% of everything for the year. In the spring, we're getting 40% of everything for the year. So it takes a little bit of time for all of those quilts and kits to be processed. That can take up to a few months or more. And then when it is going on to the shipments to go overseas, depending very much on where it's going in the world, really impacts how long it takes to get from the United States to Latin America is a much shorter travel time than from the United States to England or to Africa. Those of you who have been to LWR's warehouse may be curious how the barcode that you put in your box stays with your items, with your quilts or with your kits. When your box is open to take your quilts or kits out and put them in LWR packaging, the staff takes the barcode that you send and attaches it to the new carton or the bale, and then they create from that with a handheld scanner a sticky label that has all of your information on it that sticks really well on the box or onto the bale so that it continues to stay with your items. Then when those items are put onto a container to go overseas, we scan it and that's how we know where it's going.
High up in the Peruvian Andes, LWR has been working to help dairy farmers improve their standard of living. While the region of Cajamarca is renowned for its artisanal cheeses, poor hygiene practices and rustic facilities affected the quality of the cheese and made it difficult for peasant farmers to compete on the open market. A project known as ReadyPack worked to bring cheese manufacturing to world-class standards and worked with dairy farmers to improve their hygiene practices. Through LWR, dairy farmers have doubled milk production, improved the quality of their milk, and improved the quality of their cheese to such a level that it now sells on the regional and national market. Distributions of quilts and kits help to motivate communities and increase engagement in LWR projects.
Son un excelente motivador, un excelente incentivador para que las familias se incorporen de manera más entusiasta en el desarrollo de las actividades que el proyecto promueve. Nosotros hemos promovido a través del proyecto las buenas prácticas de higiene en el ordeño. Si es que también se hace esta promoción en los niños en la escuela, constituye un complemento muy importante.
Personal care kits help to cement lessons on the importance of proper hygiene when milking cows.
Tradicionalmente, las mujeres ordeñaban con las manos sucias, recibían la leche en baldes, en recipientes sucios, no limpiaban las ubres de las vacas, transportaban la leche en condiciones inadecuadas. Entonces, el hecho de que los niños estén recibiendo buenas prácticas de higiene en la escuela constituye un soporte también para promover los cambios en estas buenas prácticas en el ordeño, ¿no?
At the beginning of the school year, up to 30 to 40% of a family's income can go to purchasing school supplies, including uniforms and shoes.
Es una enorme ayuda para una familia recibir una contribución de esta naturaleza. Constituye un soporte fundamental para las familias que tienen bajos recursos para poder comprarlos directamente.
Me llamo Brian Alexis Namasaca Rafael. Yo estoy en quinto grado de primaria. Tengo un mensaje que los útiles escolares nos sirven de mucho, que gracias por lo que nos han dado, porque eso nos sirve a todos, no solo me sirve a mí, le sirve a todos mis compañeros y a todos. La regla sirve para medir, por ejemplo, cuando te dan en matemática para que hagas un cuadrado, tú con la regla lo mides para que te salga derechito. Si no tienes la regla no te puede salir. Dibujo un dibujo. Como estoy dibujando ahora, necesito para pintar el dibujo para que me salga más bonito. Nada más.
For women living in poor rural communities, the distance to a healthcare facility makes accessing them a challenge. In Peru, LWR often distributes baby care kits at rural clinics to make the long trek to receive prenatal care more alluring.
Entonces, el recibir, digamos, kits como los que hemos entregado son un aporte muy importante para las familias, ¿no? Ven, digamos, un motivador muy grande para esmerar el cuidado para sus niños.
In the Andes, where temperatures can drop to below freezing, warm quilts bring an added comfort against the cold. Receiving an LWR quilt had special significance for Sabina Carranza. She makes her living weaving blankets for people in her community. On average, a blanket takes her up to 3 weeks to weave, for which she earns between $8 to $12.
Y yo vivo tejiendo porque necesito para todo. Para todo, compre así mis zapatos, cualquier cosa para que compre mi comida, mi jabón, para que me lave, para todo. Una mesada así para mí, lo hago 8 meses, así, porque lo hago solamente los domingos. Pues si lo hago de mí ahora, ¿quién me va a pagar? Hay que me pague, ¿no es cierto? Pero que hacer la gente para que me pague. Y si no, ¿de qué voy a vivir? Algunas veces si corre aire y hace un frío, ahorita está haciendo frío, está haciendo frío. Yo duermo con 5 pesadas, me abrigo porque hace frío. También estamos muy felices. Claro, alegre, contenta, ya que me dan eso para taparme, pues. Claro que son para taparme. Llego no tiempo con dormir. Míreme, yo quiero sacar estitos. La mesada. Pero ojalá que pueda.
Sabina is so happy with her quilt. She makes sure to give it extra care each morning after she wakes up.
Lo doy muy encima. Para que no se ensucie, pues, porque cae polvos. Polvo cae siempre. Yo no doy un polvo debajo de la otra cuchita, que no se ensucie.
Anyone can make quilts and kits. One of my very favorite quotes that I heard from a quilt group leader when she was inviting her congregation to participate in quilts was, if you can tie your shoes, you can tie a quilt.
I would encourage you to periodically just just Google Lutheran World Relief or just go to lwr.org. And you can watch videos, but you can also get updates about what's going on around the world with Lutheran World Relief. But I wanted to mention that years ago we used to do school kits, but we discontinued doing those. The Dorcas Circle sold the bags, and the Sunday school kids collected all of the supplies. And anyway, our numbers have dropped, and it's a lot, so we quit doing that. But anyway, you can look at that. Also want to mention, when they were showing the school supplies, I had been in Peru on a tour many years ago, and we went to some remote areas, and they suggested that we bring school supplies, and a lot of us brought pencils and the little plastic pencil sharpeners. Not only have the students never seen a small plastic pencil sharpener, none of the teachers had either. They still had just a metal, old-fashioned crank pencil sharpener. Do you remember those from when you were a kid? And there was big one that was attached on the top of the desk of the teacher. And so they were very excited to see what this was, and we had to take them out of the package and demonstrate them for everybody. Okay, Stella now wants to talk about some of the other missions of activities of our Health and Wholeness Committee.
Our Health and Wholeness Committee is structured differently than other committees, and it's sometimes called Health and Wholeness Ministry because we do a lot of ministries in the congregation. And I have put on the tables our organizational wheel, which was developed by Vicki Curran, parishioners that started the committee over 20 years ago. And each year we, in January, we review it and sort of tweak it a little bit for the current year. And I wanted to share the committee members are Terry Anderson, Jay Baxter, Jan Benson, Diane Chong, Janelle Erickson, Carolyn Ferris, who is our council representative, Cheryl Juras, Ruth Miller, Donna Nellist, Michael Oswald, Jackie Parks, Helen Ryan, CJ Tatum, and Beverly Watt, and myself. On the table, you'll find a diagram of the wheel that Vicki developed, and we're going to start a little bit here. I've picked out a few of our activities, and we're going to start with Cheryl, who's going to explain the Blend Prayer Partner program, as well as the prayers we do on the third Sunday of the month.
So we have to thank Sherry Gridlin for taking over the prayer partners, and she's been willing to email everybody and let them know who they're praying for. And in the past we had to hand out envelopes, and it was really a hard job to get everybody's envelopes delivered to them on Sunday morning. But it's been very rewarding for most of us. We not only pray for somebody in the congregation that we might not know, but we also lots of times follow up, and that person becomes a good acquaintance or even a close friend. Somebody that I didn't even know before. I just say, who is that? Who is Pat called? And they pointed her out to me in the choir, and now we're friends. So that's always fun. And so that'll be sign-ups in February probably to sign up for a prayer partner. And you can also put down what your needs are, what you would like to have prayed for, like health or your job or your family or whatever. And God promises us He will hear our prayers, so that's always special. And then the healing prayer. We've gotten back to having 2 healing prayer stations now on the third Sunday of the month. So if you have any concerns you want to bring up, it's always nice to have a personal prayer. And it's a privilege to be a healing prayer minister. We've been trained, and we feel very blessed to be able to listen and to pray for people on Sunday mornings on the third Sunday. So after communion or during communion, just come on up, and you can pray for gratitude, thanksgiving, pray for someone else. it's a wonderful opportunity, I think. Any questions about those two things? Okay, just remember, prayer is powerful. God is powerful.
Okay. The prayer tree, that is for anyone who would like prayers to either call Mary Mills or Pastor, and you give them your request, and then Mary sends it out to a number of people through email who have said they would like to be connected with prayer for people who need it in the congregation. And then that can be accomplished that way. The Congregation Care Team is a newer program. When Pastor Red was here, Pastor Red Birchfield was here, our interim pastor, it was determined that one of our congregation's needs was to have more contact with members. We did a lot of training, and then right after he left and Pastor Laura arrived, COVID came. And so the program was couldn't be accomplished for a while. But we're back and doing it again with a smaller group. But we do have a Zoom meeting every month, and we share who needs maybe contact, a phone call. A lot of it is done by phone calls, but there are occasionally visits, as well as people who are trained to do communion to help Pastor Laura if she's not able to do it. And so this outreach has been very helpful for many people. And Sherry, do you want to say anything else? Because it's coordinated by Sherry and Pastor.
You make it sound so simple. The people on the care team are very caring and wonderful. And if there's anybody,
I have the other microphone here, I could have turned it on. The care team is a very wonderful, caring group. I hate to use that word caring so many times, but that's the best word for it. If you need extra help, call us, let us know. There will be prayers, there could be food delivered, there could be hugs, visits. The care team actually helped keep the church together during COVID. You said you didn't do much. The care team contacted almost everybody during COVID and connected with people. So I just am so impressed every month when we get together at the quality and how lucky we are to have such wonderful, dedicated volunteers.
All right, the next area, Janelle had to go to choir practice, but Janelle Erickson is the person who is the coordinator for the meal volunteers. And we have women who generously provide food for people of our congregation. If the people are ill or injured or have a medical condition which limits their ability to provide food for themselves, they can call Pastor or Janelle Erickson to ask for help. This group started out by providing a meal for grieving families over a death in the family. But in recent years, it's evolved to a program providing food for people who need help after surgery, after a hospital visit, and need food for a short time. Janelle sends out an email to her volunteers to the dates the food is needed, and volunteers sign up when it works for them, and then they deliver the food. And sometimes the social contact with the people and the exchange of the food is just as important as the food is to the person that they feed. And then volunteers for transportation. Michael Oswald is taking this over, and it's another part of our ministry, and we have about 8 people who are available to provide rides to appointments we call it the ride share program. And if you need a ride, you call Michael and let her know when you need it. And this is for people who are mobile. We're not equipped to take people who are with walkers and things like that. And our card ministry is taken care of by Donna Nellis. She sends sympathy, get well, and thinking of you cards. And most of these cards are made by Nancy Davis and Jay Baxter and others in our congregation. And if you're interested in being a member of our committee, I put out some sign-up sheets on the back table, as well as signing up for helping to provide for food or any of the other ministries. And you don't have to be a member of the committee to participate in a lot of these activities. And so, like the Lutheran World Relief and providing food and a lot of other activities, you don't have to be a member of the committee. But if you want to join us as a committee, you can. We would love to have you. And in the past, we've had some men, right? We haven't in the current years, but we have had men, and men would be welcome too.
Thank you very much, ladies, for a wonderful program. It helps to know where some of these things are going when you see them packaged up and when we bless the quilts, to know that they're going to go to good causes out there. I want to tell you that next week we're going to have Kid Vantage. That is the former Eastside Lady Corner. They're going to be talking about what we have done in the past and what we can do to help needy children in our neighborhood. And also back on that sign-up table is a paper that says grateful. I wake up every morning and I'm grateful for another day. But this grateful has to do with the women's retreat, the weekend of November 11th. And if you're female and want to join us, take a brochure. Thank you very much, everybody. Have a blessed day and a safe and wonderful week.